Emily.
Is this gonna be one of those fucking gross stories that you always have?
No, it's just it's not. I had a work meeting on Friday, right? And it was just like a standard meeting we have all together with our team, and they were asking like how life's going, whatever. And one of my team leads was like, "How's your podcast going?" Because she's friends with me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, it's good." She's like, "Yeah, I've watched it."
You're like, that's fucking terrible.
And I was like,
that's the most terrible
I
thing.
really hope she didn't see the Tim Allen episode, the Christmas one.
Oh no!
Is her name Tim Allen? Is that why?
I just feel as if that company would not necessarily. And I'm not even going to mention that name because I don't want to get fired. That company probably wouldn't.
Are you good?
Like
okay,
that one of their employees was saying those things.
Threatening to fuck Tim Allen if he goes.
Is it really? Is it
threatening? Threatening? That's a little.
you're approaching this like it's
fantasizing, perhaps.
Like you're approaching it like it's some kind of like heinous crime.
Like I haven't done anything.
It's fucking Tim Allen.
She's like yet. I haven't done anything yet.
It's just I'm a little feral on this podcast and
feral. See now this is the second time you've used that word.
Yeah, you say.
I'd like to point out that that's not a word that you normally would apply to a person's acting. Like, I mean, I say feral cat. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But you're like, last week, you're like, or gosh, it was a few weeks ago. You're like, Colt.
I'm all going feral.
It's feral.
Yeah.
Now you're like, you're gonna go feral.
What's going on?
What?
You going good?
What is this feral? Did you just find out that was a word and you're like, I'm gonna use it now. I'm gonna use it all the time.
I feel like I've said that many times.
You've said it twice.
It's part of my
I can prove
vocabulary.
it. I have receipts.
On this podcast, I've said it twice. I've said it much more than that.
Well, you've never said it to me.
She kind of lately she has been going feral. Like so, I don't know if I told you this.
Going feral. Like okay,
I don't know if I told you this or if I said it on the podcast, but I got off work one night and Emily here passed out on the couch trying to wait for me, like stay up. Like she tried to stay up and wait for me to get home. Did not work. Well, my paycheck hit, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna surprise."
Fucking
I'm
get them ducats.
gonna surprise Emily with some dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but everything was closed.
As a good ex fucking fiance would do.
Yeah. But everything was closed, and I was like, well, fuck. All right, I guess it's McDonald's, and she's all out, passed out, and I'm like, honey, what do you want from McDonald's? And she was like, nah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's not a fucking thing.
That's not a thing, exactly. And I'm like, wake up more. So, wake up. What do you want from McDonald's? She was like, I don't care. Get the fucking car insurance. Now, you heard me correctly.
I asked. You're asking for dinner.
Pause.
Orders.
Pause. It's gonna get great. So I'm like, I didn't ask about car insurance. I asked for like McDonald's. What the fuck did you? And she was like, look me dead in the face. I don't give a fuck. Get the car insurance. I've already got it, but I don't care. Fucking get it. I'll pay for 2 car insurances. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then
you're like, trip it out, man.
I'm like, what the fuck? Goes in this whole spiel how she hates me, all this shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then she was like, what are we talking about? And I'm like, I wanted McDonald's and you wanted car insurance from McDonald's, and I don't think it's very good, madam.
And you
went feral on me.
Feral.
I was asleep.
No.
I don't remember that.
No.
That's what a crazy person would say.
See?
Feral. That's exactly what a crazy person would say.
Must have been fucking sleepwalking. I don't understand.
Or sleeping. What kind of McDonald's do you want? I didn't know the McDonald's sold car insurance.
I was confused, and I was like looking there. I was like, maybe they added it. Maybe it's called McSurance. I don't.
McSurance. No, fucking.
I was like,
got you covered. That's actually the 4th drive-through window.
Yeah. you need some.
The first one you order, the second one you get your food, the third one you get the shit fixed that got fucked up, and the fourth one is where they sell you car insurance because you're about to get hit on the way out of here because you're so goddamn mad from getting fucked over at the fucking drive-through. So McDonald's. McSurance. Man,
But
it reminds you of like the fucking company that's I don't know, was was it the Lorax where they had this fucking company was like did all the things? Like it was like we'll sell you canned air or fucking sell you bottled air. It was like basically everybody bought the same fucking thing. It was like
No, that's Wally.
Wally.
You're
Was it
thinking-
Wally?
Yeah, because
Wally.
everyone's.
I get my fucking cartoons fucked up.
Hey,
You
man,
know.
hey, that's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Wally is a good movie, but they were like oh
Wally.
they buy all the same company's thing, you know,
Yeah.
and like they owe everything to fucking McDonald's or whatever. It is, fucking
Get some
McDonald's.
insurance now.
Get some insurance, McCar,
Oh,
fucking
God.
I was
McGirlfriend.
I was so fucking confused, and then she like tried to like I was so confused, and she like looked at me, and she's all like, "What do I want for dinner?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
that's what I
like,
led with.
fucking asked," and she was like, "Oh, I thought you asked me what car insurance do we want?" And I was, "What the fuck? How do those sound the same?"
Do you remember having a dream in regards to car insurance? Like what was up with that?
What I think happened is
Air quoting.
because I don't really remember the dream, but I think I was having a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier that day, I kept getting texts from this like insurance agent trying to sell me fucking car insurance, and I was like, dude, I already have insurance. Like I
This
don't,
McSurance, bro.
I don't need it. And she just kept kind of harassing me and calling me and texting me and shit. And so I was like over it. And then I went to sleep and I took a nap, whatever. And I think I was just having a dream that she was like trying to sell it to me again, and I was just getting pissed off. So when he said something to me, for some reason my brain was still on car insurance, and I just ran with it. I don't know.
The next
I
time
almost
you
got
get
my
a
head
call,
ripped off, man.
fucking yeah, and you're just trying to like, I want
I'm
some
like,
dinner.
dude. Did you want to
The
make
next
chicken?
time you get a call from an insurance place, just be like, "Hey, I'll have a fucking McDouble, and I will fucking have a McGriddle, and I will have
And a
a
large
fucking
fry."
and a large fry." And she'd be like, "This is insurance." I'm like, "No, you fucking trying to trick me, trying to trick me. You're in my head and shit."
Oh my
God,
god,
they would
dude.
be like, I am calling the authorities right now.
I'm calling the fucking.
It was-
I'm calling the police.
That was
I can't believe you
going
guys still eat McDonald's. So of all the cool options you have.
Well,
What's the
at-
only thing that was open, really?
like when I
that
get
was
off at like
closed.
11 o'clock at night, man. What's open?
And we-
yeah, what's it like fucking working those insane hours, man? That's crazy.
My paychecks are nice.
Yeah, that's true.
I bought a fucking car.
Yeah, that's true. How was that fucking experience, by the way? So,
Uh,
like, you. By the way, there was no lead up to that. You're just like, oh, we're a one car family,
Well-
and then next thing you know, you're like, check out the fucking Hyundai. It's a Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out the Hyundai. And I'm thinking, well, that was a fucking. I didn't even know you were shopping. Well, okay, we had talked about it.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Well, okay.
But-
if I'm gonna keep it real, like when you said you suggested your homie, I was like, yeah, maybe, and then I was like, actually, I need to build up my credit, and I need to
It's true.
not.
Yeah, used
Because-
cars generally.
Yeah, and I need
Or a
something-
used car lot, sorry, will generally get you like they'll give you like when you pay it off, it'll be like one fucking good ding on your credit, and then whereas like dealers usually are like they're firing those things off every 2 or 3 months. I think.
Yeah, and I need to just improve my shit and need a good reliable car. I just and I was thinking about getting a Chrysler 300C.
But you love the fuel on that.
Your
Your little car gets good gas mileage, I bet.
Huh.
But that little car gets good gas
Oh
mileage.
yeah. No, it fucking does. I got the coolest thing, the dealership, the dude who bought the car for me totally was sucking. Like he was just milking me for
He's a salesman, dude. That's what he
yeah,
does, dude.
he was a fucking asshole though. Shout out to the dude who bought me sold my car.
Shout out to fucking what would you get it at?
I don't Toyota of Olympia.
Really?
Yeah.
I know some folks down there. Shout out to Toyota of Olympia. You know what? Toyota of Olympia, you to fucking sponsor this show. That's
Yeah,
what you're
that'd
gonna
be
fucking do.
cool, man.
Homie just fucking bought a car from y'all.
Yeah.
Better not be a fucking lemon. Actually, lemon doesn't apply to
No, I
fucking
mean
used
like,
cars anyway. So.
but they filled up my car. They like
gas?
filled it up. yeah.
Like, here's $20.
No, dude,
Yeah.
like the dude said as much as it takes to fill up his car, and I was like, I filled that bitch up.
Hell yeah, full tank of gas.
Yep.
Is there any kind of like a service program on the oil?
Yeah, I think so. I have a whole like booklet
cool.
pamphlet they gave me.
Well, that's awesome. You got a stick shift.
No, it's a sequential.
Okay, well
I can
mean,
slap it in the sequential and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking, until you get a clutch, you can't come to the table, homie. Sorry.
I used to drive stick
Wah, bah, bah, bah.
until
I told him that's a terrible idea, especially if we ever want to go to Seattle.
which we're going to Seattle.
It is fucking terrible. It is terrible.
I'm not. Doing
I
that.
tell you what, the last time I had my Acura, and mind you, I had like a lot of. I mean, it was pretty tuned. That going up those hills, leaving the market, people right behind you, they're like right up on your bumper. I'm like, I'm gonna roll back. I can't do anything about it. I cannot
I'm
change
gonna
physics.
use you for a little stoppy real
I
quick.
can't change physics. So either you back off me, or I'm about to smoke this clutch just taking off. I'd rather just hit you. I'm sorry. I'd rather just run into you. Yeah, the hills there are wild. I mean, they're like
Yeah.
they're
yeah.
super solid.
They're like 45-degree slopes, man. You're like,
They're at least 105-degree slopes. At least 105.
yeah, no,
105.
Yeah, you're going fucking backwards, going up the hill.
You know what I've been craving the last. I don't know. Maybe when we were in Seattle, I was going. They had all these Asian food places. Like they were just all up there we were down on the pier working, and they had. I don't know if there's like one or two restaurants that are in the end of the Pike Place Market, but all day I was like, wow.
I wanted to
some
hit
Asian food in here. Oh my gosh!
When we went to Pike's Place, I wanted to hit up that little Asian place that was in that little. We went downstairs.
Yeah, a little is in the corner there.
Yeah.
Still there. I think probably what we were
That's what
cooking
we
there,
gotta
but it
do.
was pretty wild. I don't know, but what's going on?
Oh, we're going to Seattle, well to Bellevue, and then Seattle, to go see a concert, and then
What are you going to see?
Wallows.
I'll let her. I have
What's
no idea.
What's in Bellevue? Then
Well, that's
besides
just our hotel.
besides snooty people.
That's just where our hotel is.
That's Snob Hill, bro. Like if you go to Bellevue, it's like oh, you drive a Tesla, huh? That must be nice.
Well,
Oh, dude, I'll tell him to eat shit real quick.
okay,
I
that's
don't
just where we're
care.
staying. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It's where the hotel is. That's all I know.
The hotel. Why'd you go to Bellevue though?
Because downtown Seattle hotels are fucking ridiculous expensive.
Do
If you don't wanna
do you
get,
know
like-
how far it is from Bellevue to Seattle?
Like 10 minutes from where we are.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I was trying to make you think it was like a 2-hour drive.
I'm like, I looked it up.
We have
It's
this.
like
Well,
9 miles
You
away.
did your research. You
Yeah.
did your fucking research.
Eat shit.
What are you coming at me for? Now? The fuck, dude? So you got a fucking car, and that's rad as shit.
Yeah, dude.
So now you don't have to drive around in one car,
Mhm.
or anybody has to wait for anybody else. Why did you decide on the Hyundai?
Well, because I did not get approved for the Cadillac. Or the
You were
Chrysler, my bad.
Oh, so it was you didn't really care. You were just gonna go in.
Like I really wanted the Chrysler because I've always wanted a 300C because if you've ever played Midnight Club 3
Mhm.
Dub Edition, that's the cover car, and I've always wanted that car. Like I've just always wanted that car.
That's fucking so nerdy. Dude. That's the nerdiest thing I've ever heard.
Well, and then he was like, "You didn't get approved for this, but you got approved for this one instead." And then I like looked at it, and then he said it has a really good safety rating, and I was like, "All right, I'm fucking."
You
sold.
got approved for this fucking dirt bike. You want to ride this dirt bike around?
I fucking would. Mm-mm.
What about you? What you got? What's on your mind? Tell me what's on your mind right now. Go ahead, rapid fire. What's on your mind? What's on your
Not
mind?
much.
Not well. Okay, I didn't say what. I'm trying to word this correctly. What are the thoughts that you have had recently?
Some thoughts that I've had recently.
Yeah. No pressure.
I don't really know what to say, brother. Brother, you can't put me on the spot like this. I don't know. The world is kind of shitty.
Mm.
There's a lot of bad things happening.
The world is kind of shitty. Is that a recent thought, or is that just generalized? Like it's always the thing.
I don't know.
Why is the world shitty? Okay. There are reasons. There are reasons that the world is at times a terrible place, but there are also reasons that at times it's pretty cool. What are some negative things that are bugging you right now of the world?
That non-binary kid who was killed in the bathroom.
The non-binary kid that's killed in the bathroom.
Next.
And that.
We wasn't killed in the bathroom.
Well,
So there was a fight, right? So that's because I remember just seeing like highlights of it. I remember seeing like there was a fight, right? Or there was a jump, or there was, all I know is there was video, and there was multiple people went in. Next went in, right? And then they all came out after authorities, like the police people, or not police, but school folks went in there, you know what I mean? And they all left.
yeah.
And then it shows videos of them, different directions, and then next left to school with a parent.
Yeah, well, because what happened, they, Next went in, and then the school folks went in and got everyone out. Next went to the nurses station, from what I heard, and got checked out, but then they didn't take Next to the hospital. And so they were saying that there was, like, brain damage and stuff. Well, anyway, more recent reports said something about the autopsy actually being ruled as the death was actually ruled as a suicide, because after the jumping and everything, Next was very depressed and overdosed. And so, in my opinion, I still think that should be considered a hate crime.
It is. Like,
A hate crime. So because not like a direct.
Like,
So
or like a murder.
So
like,
the autopsy said that Nex didn't die from any kind of trauma from the fight,
right, that's what they're saying. At
but
this point.
the toxicology suggests there was too much of whatever antidepressant.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not saying that actions don't lead to things like. I mean, if you're somebody who is easily like manipulated or easily like like if people that have powerful words can make you do crazy shit. So I guess they would have I don't know. I 100% agree. Like I feel like okay, so a direct correlation between that person got into a fight, goes home, obviously is super emotional about it, and then OD is on antidepressants.
I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back because there was also like long-term reports and long-term like proof of Nex being bullied like ruthlessly because they were not.
Yeah, I think that the attorneys get a hold of that. I think that might show. Like I don't know how the wording is legally, and I think that's the trouble with that. I think you'd at least be able to.
They need to face consequences of some kind.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Is it like maybe indirect be some type of manslaughter?
It's
right.
Like
That's
some
what I'm
kind of a
thinking.
manslaughter, maybe. I don't know. It's terrible, and so we can all look at it and go, all right. Well, obviously, Nex went home and just bottoms up or whatever on whatever medication they were prescribed. And especially because there's a long history of abuse there, I think that'll come into question too. I don't know if that's something. Is there charges of any kind filed? Is there any kind of attorneys involved, or is there?
The last time that I saw anything, I saw that there was no charges being filed against the kids or the parents. And I just think, unless that's changed,
I haven't followed it either, so I can see how
it's kind of bullshit, honestly.
I could see how that I could see how that would be how that could be treated that way. I don't know. That's super unfortunate, regardless.
There was this case, wouldn't say that's similar to the next case because there's nothing really. Well, from what I know, there could be a lot. From what I know, there's nothing really like that. But there was this chick. I don't know if it was in Florida or somewhere on the East Coast. Her boyfriend wasn't doing too well mentally, and she basically told him to just fucking off himself. And there were texts like, "Why don't you do it? You're a fucking pussy." Like genuine texts from her, and she got sentenced too to like it was something like indirect manslaughter or something.
I can see it because if you're influential and you're a constant, it's shown that mental abuse, constant mental abuse and fortification like that does affect somebody, which is like the same as if like a cult leader, how this cult leaders can get into trouble and go to prison.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't act. I mean, some of these guys that got a bunch of folks to like, take the blue pill or swallow this drink or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like got them everybody all these folks to off themselves. They didn't actually kill anybody themselves. Right. They just were so powerful and influential. They're brainwashed. So, and if those folks can sit in jail, and again, I'm 100% for that. Like that's like they know they were powerful in positions of authority, so to speak. Or they knew their words were powerful or controlled or however you frame it, and they sit in jail.
Yeah.
And so I can see that person. I mean, manslaughter. I think it's a realistic charge. I think you could, and especially when you show the abuse and if there was no consequences for that, or there was consequences, but they were like, oh well, just keep them separated or whatever.
And that's what they did because, unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things, LGBTQ people are not valued as much as straight people when it comes to like authority figures in schools for the most part. Yeah, there's just a lot of abuse there.
It's a bit of like I've seen that kind of stuff.
Schools,
like even I mean, mind you, I go back a little ways further into when I was in school, but
yeah.
And while I didn't witness anything like over the top or what I would be considered a hate crime ish, you know what I mean? You still see. So the stigma is there, right? You still see that, and then you see how, I don't want to, I'm not going to be teamed up with that person because they're just, it's just like a mild inconvenience. That's how they were treated,
Yeah,
and it not, you know what I mean? And again, thankfully, it wasn't one of those situations where people getting beat up over it or whatever.
Ostracized.
But they were definitely cast in a different shade,
Yeah.
different light. Just
So
and
fucking
it's wrong. I think it's wrong, and especially now because like if you did that to any other aspect in life, if you like cast somebody aside for any kind of difference from what the norm is, and that's the thing is identify the norm, and you can go down that path. Like if you identify the norm, like okay, so if we're going to as a society say, okay, well this and this and this and this and this that's not normal. Okay, so what's our normal? And then if you make that list to yourself, then read it to yourself and try to not come off like a total jackass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that the whole idea that you have this norm, you're completely basing it on, right? Your personal beliefs, right?
Just your biases.
Yeah, and your biases. You know what I mean? Some may be religious, some may be just family or there's social influences and that's not normal. That's not normal to you.
Yeah.
And it's because you were uncomfortable with it.
And why?
What does somebody else? And I guess you can beat this conversation into the mud. Like, what does somebody else's choice in their lives affect you? Okay, the answer to that normally from the opposition is, well, they don't. I just don't believe in that. Cool, carry on. Then that's not good enough. Then you go further, and they want to impose or legislate laws that. They don't necessarily right up front take things away, but that's a starting point. They won't make laws protecting those. There's laws to protect you and you and you and you for various different things. There's laws that protect total straight couples, right? Like it's just the way it is. So to go and intentionally like pull the reins back on that stuff for something that totally doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah.
If two people care about each other and they go, hey, we want to get married, or we want to have kids, or we want to do this, we want to, whatever.
Who cares?
It doesn't fucking matter what you think or I think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And it shouldn't matter, but then people forget.
It doesn't matter.
We should have a separation between church and state, and then they go back to the Bible and they're like, this is why we can't have this.
You can't. Here's the deal. You can't have separation of church and state, okay, whilst simultaneously walking around saying we love everybody, right? And also trying to tell the LGBTQ community that they can't marry one another, or they don't. Well, okay, they can. That they can't have rights that protect them from being ridiculed, persecuted, told they can't do this, told they can't do that. Now, if it comes to if a business says, like this has been a thing too, the business goes, well, you can't come into our establishment because you are part of the LGBTQ community. You can't do that. Well, that is hating on somebody.
It's just,
you know what I mean?
So weird.
Like you can't do that. They try to. You can't go to the black community and say, oh, well, you can't come in here like they were doing in the 50s or whatever. You can't do that. So what I don't understand is this is the part that trips me out so much. Is like why do we even have to have this fucking conversation?
It's
Aren't we all adults?
This is 2024.
Mind your fucking business.
And we have to have this conversation. These are conversations that you would expect to be happening, I don't know, when you're forming a country. Or even better, when you're forming just any society, any structured society.
Yeah.
Hey, so obviously we see that there's a bunch of people here and we don't have the same thought process to a T. We all understand like it'd be like, oh, you like the color green? Well, fuck, you can't come in my store because you like the color green. Well, that's the dumbest fucking... It's no different.
It isn't.
Because you liking green doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't affect what color I like. And so the only answer that I have to any of that is because it makes those folks feel uncomfortable because it's different than what they're used to seeing. Because they're so...
Deal with it.
Just deal... Yeah. It doesn't... You're going to have to.
Like, fuck
You're going to have to.
You're an adult. Stop whining about it.
Stop whining about it. You can go in your home and you can beat your fucking dog all you want. Don't beat your fucking dog. But you can be mad at home, okay?
Yeah, fucking cuss at your wife. It's fine, bro.
But
close the doors. Shut up.
The two guys next door that are married and have an adopted child, or maybe they don't. Maybe I don't know. It doesn't. None of it fucking matters. None of it fucking matters. And I just don't understand why we have to have this type of conversation in the year 2024 when we can't even figure out how to get kids not getting mowed down in schools. You understand? We can't figure out.
We can't figure fucking overdose.
We can't figure out. These things that we're watching people drop. Okay, in the streets, in class, in whatever. We're watching human beings drop, and we're worried about. Well, I don't know that.
Dude,
I'm okay with you two loving each other and getting married.
Speaking
Love?
of that,
But those kids that are slaughtered in schools, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts.
Get fucked.
I don't want to hear your thoughts and prayers.
I want to.
okay?
I want to see legislation that helps these kids. That's what I want to see.
Or
I'd
the
like to see that.
fucking a couple weeks ago, I was a little shaken up when I was coming home. I fucking called her. I was like, because like I wish fucking something would happen. Like the fentanyl crisis, man. I saw 2 dead bodies in the street on the fucking corner of a Walgreens near my place.
Dude, it's real. It's real, and we're becoming so numb to it.
And it's disgusting because like when I see one, I'm like, fuck, they had a family. Like when I see it, I
cared about them.
I was like, fuck, people gave a shit. They just going through a hard time. People gave up on them. Like
I staggered across you want to see where the scum of society lands at. Go to fucking Facebook. Tell you what.
Or TikTok or Instagram.
I'm gonna share this on Facebook, by the way. So just don't listen to that. But I'm just saying, I saw somebody post and they were ranting about. I don't know. Maybe they'll see this because they're gonna feel called out.
Good.
They made a post about showing all of the like the big giant rocks on the side of the freeway to oust the homeless camps. Homeless encampments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were complaining like this is what governorship does. This is the result of policies, isn't that? I go, why do we look at everything as a single issue, B as in such a small little frame? I go, why don't we ask ourselves how the fuck we got here? Why don't we ask ourselves how the fucking homeless population or how the homelessness got out of control like it did? And everybody goes, well, they have this. Everybody wants to just fucking pass the fucking ball to somebody else. I go, no, reel it back. Why do we have this socioeconomic crisis? Why do we have this difference? Why?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we need to be attacking. You can, yeah, sure, everybody. I mean, you can legislate something, and you can legislate something, and there can be a shortfall here, or this could be the fucking county or the city fucked up here. You can point, but that's not going to solve it. You're just going to put somebody else there. You know what I mean? You're dealing with, we're on the defense now. We're not preventing anything. Whether it be a mental illness or the price of things is so goddamn ridiculous, or the fucking drug, the fentanyl thing, or any drug for that matter, it's just so like out of control, and people want to just go. We're not taking enough like personal responsibility. It's always easy to like
pass the torch and just blame it.
Yeah,
on someone
it's always
else.
easy to go. Oh, here's this political figure. Trust me, I know they're making legislation. Okay, I get that. But if we're not going to take any responsibility at all for our own communities, then why the fuck would we expect somebody else to do it? Like, why would we, and then they just show this post and they're like this is an example of governorship, motherfucker. Okay, who put some motherfucker in there? You know what I mean? Obviously, there's other things to look at here. So anyhow, yeah, that's it. I think there's a lot of things, and everybody wants to pick the easy. They want to grab the easy thing. They want to ever take it apart, and so I don't know. But we could drill that thing into the mud, and that's fucking sad and depressing. And
it is sad because it's like, how many times do we have to have this conversation before someone fucking listens?
Too many.
I don't think because it'll just evolve into something different. It'll always evolve into a different type of conversation, but it will always reel back as being rooted in the exact same thing. But
Yeah.
anyhow, all right, well, guys, that's it. We're gonna call that one. We're gonna call that a day because
You're getting too worked up.
I'm getting so fucking mad. No.